Katika kipindi tunakuletea wasanii.
What's up my guys, I go by the name Reynams.
Eti nikipita kwa macho na nipimia, na kama sina pesa unguwezi nipimia. Hapa Shenster the Poet manze.
Ngoma moto moto.
If you wanna show some love, I don't fake it. Enda kumenya mawazo mako nani anadera shire warutani wako
Vichekesho mkisongaza mahojiano moto moto, stori za wasanii pamoja na talanta za wasanii.
Fiki wa kasi gani kama wapatikani wakati wa shida.
Na pia kwenye kipindi utabambika, utajijenga, utaelimika, utakuza talanta yako.
My name is Rebecca Mutie, I'm a model and I'm Afri Kenya. I'm a student. Napenda kusikiza kipindi cha Bonga na Katoni kila Jumatatu kuanzia saa 9 mpaka saa 10.
Kumbuka ni kwenye Bonga na Katoni ndani ya TAS TV kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 10 kila siku ya Jumatatu.
This is Bonga na Katoni in TAS TV. Karibuni.
Ready to learn German? TAS College is the perfect place to start. Grab a partial scholarship opportunity in German language beginner course today and unlock new opportunities to work abroad.
Guten Morgen, good morning, guten Tag, good afternoon, guten Abend, good evening. These are some of the words that you will be learning in our school. So come and join the new beginner classes for German classes at our school.
Whether it is for travel, career, or personal growth, TAS College has you covered. Whether you prefer online or physical classes, we have the ideal learning option for you. With monthly intakes and experienced instructors, you will be speaking German in no time. We are located in Vika Town along Kenyatta Highway at Nema Plaza 2nd floor opposite Vika Bazaar building. Ready to begin? Call 0798-154-042 to enroll today. TAS College, striving through talent.
Good afternoon and welcome to our counting the red ribbons, today being 2025. My name is Anton Ombuyo Gechi and today we are lucky to have an amazing guest. I'm going to give our time to introduce ourselves, to tell us more about his profession, and then to introduce the topic of the day. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yes.
My name is Joyce.
Yes.
Joyce Owino. I'm a counselor by profession.
Yes.
Today I want us to look at youth and mental health.
Yes.
It's a big challenge, not only for this country alone, but even in other countries of the world.
Yes.
So that's what we want us to look into today.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, starting, who is our youth?
When we talk about our youth in Kenya, we are looking at 18 to 35 years.
18 to 35, where I'm among them.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And you look at in our population,
Yes.
these 18 to 35 years, individuals below the age of 35 years, it make up 75% of Kenyan population.
Okay.
So that's a very big number of people that you're talking, the youth.
Yes.
And then we look at between 18 and 35 years, we have 40% of population in Kenya
Yes.
is 18 to 35 years. And possibly because you're talking of census that were back in 2019, most likely leo ukiangalia probably half of the population is that age, 18 to 35 years.
Yes.
So it's a big concern for this country. Like we have young people, the youth with mental health issues. So you can imagine how many of population we are talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Is depression a situation in Kenya among the youths?
Yes, it is. It's actually it's there and it's real.
Yes.
You're saying 1 in every 4 people in Kenya have mental health issues.
Yes.
And it's more prevalence among the youth as opposed to this
Yes.
other population. Look at, when you talk about now the mental health, when you talk about depression, you find that 30% of women are more prone to getting depression. Men 20%. So you find that there's that discrepancy between men and women.
Yes.
Women are more prone to depression as opposed to men, but doesn't mean that men also don't get depression. They
Yes.
also get depression. Yes.
Na mbona siku hizi ni wanawake ndio wengi sana ikilinganishwa na wanaume? Why is it women they are the victim of this?
Okay, sometimes I tend to think it's because with women, women talk a lot.
Yes.
A man is very hard to talk about what is affecting them. It's very hard for a man to come and open up.
Yes.
And say this, I'm going through 1, 2, 3. But women will always talk about it. So sometimes I tend to think also is because we talk of health-seeking behavior of women and men. If you go to hospitals today, you find that watu wengi huko ni wamama. The big population are women. Is it that men never get sick?
Ama tunapatananga na inapona.
Inapona.
Yes.
Yes, they say before a man goes to seek for help,
yes,
hata kwa hospitali, huyo mwanaume ni mgonjwa. Yes, they are really sick. So I think also that those are some of the things that contribute.
Yes. What is depression?
Now, when we're talking about depression,
yes,
we're talking about it's a mental condition. I need us to understand that.
Yes.
And a serious one. But the good thing is that depression is treatable. That's the good news about depression.
Yes.
So if someone is depressed, there's this persistent feeling of sadness.
Yes.
And this can even persist for more than 2 weeks. There are those cases that will go even up to 2 years.
Yes.
With this type of depression. You find that someone has lost interest in doing, like participating in hobbies or doing things that they used to do before. Then the other thing is that their behavior will also change to some extent. You notice there's something, the behavior has changed. So there's something very wrong with this person.
Yes.
Yes.
Na ukiangalia kwa mfano kuna mtu ambaye kwanza kabla hatujaenda mbali sana depression inaweza ikatibiwa.
Yes. Depression is treatable. Yes.
Does it have stages like kuna mtu ametulia wiki mbili ndio kuna wa mwezi kuna nini kuna stages?
Oh, we can't say exactly stages, but like now, when let's take an example, somebody has been experiencing these symptoms of depression for more than 2 weeks.
Yes.
So that is a case that need to be looked into. There are those cases that will persist.
Yes.
For even up to two years.
Yes.
And you find that the more it's delayed, the more complicated it becomes.
Yes.
So the earlier it's identified and treated,
yes,
the better.
So it is like cancer. The earlier you know,
yes,
and you need to treat it.
Yes.
Okay, what are the symptoms of depression?
Well, there are several symptoms, and we talk of the emotional symptoms, what I was talking about, sadness, emptiness, hopelessness. When you start feeling that,
yes,
you realize now things are not very good for me. And then I talked about loss of interest. These are about going below emotional symptoms. Loss of interest,
yes,
where somebody is no longer interested in everything, feeling guilty, easily irritated, even something very small.
Yes.
They get those outbursts of anger. So those are some of the things. Then we have also cognitive symptoms.
Yes.
And when you talk about cognitives, it has a lot to do with the mind. So any process that takes place in your mind,
yes,
we talk of that is cognitive. And we're talking about in cognitive, we're talking about thinking, understanding, remembering things, learning.
Yes.
So you find that when someone is depressed, probably it alter with their thinking. How do they think? What are the things they are thinking about?
Yes.
How are they understanding things? Learning, you find like in learning institutions,
Yes.
when someone is depressed, their performance start going back, declining in their performance.
Yes.
And also remembering things. You know, sometimes people think, I'm forgetting, seems like I'm growing old, ama uzee imeingia.
By this siku hizi nimeona hata vijana wanasaa wingi na tunaonanga kama ni uzee imeanza kutuingililia ama ni depression pia iko pande yetu.
Inaweza kuwa well, inaweza kuwa ni depression. You cannot rule that out. It could be because before you start forgetting things, well, you say like if you are old, old people forget things, but when you are 20 something and you
18 years 18, you are forgetting.
Yes, unasahau you're forgetting.
Yes.
I got into a matatu one time, and the conductor came asking for money, but he would completely forget to give people their change, or even those who have been given are asking back, how much did I give you? 500, and you give. So people will even con you a lot. So sometimes depression will cost you a lot. It will cost you a lot.
Kwa hivyo wale vijana wenye wanasahau sana waende waangaliliwe, si kupenda. Mwendeni muangaliliwe. Naonanga watu wanasahau. Hii niliweka wapi? Sawa. So mwende muangaliliwe. Continue.
Yes. And of course there is screening for depression. You can always, there are questions that you ask somebody, and depending on how they score, you can tell whether they are depressed or not.
Yes.
So the other thing is negative thoughts, where you find someone is very negative. Even when they asked wakiambiwa fanye kitu, they're just very negative about it. They will never do anything. Before they start doing it, they'll start giving excuses, complaints and all that. I cannot do this because of this, because of this. So they are ever negative. So that also is a something in depression. So then we talk about the physical symptoms. Physical is that which you can see.
Yes.
By physical symptoms, we talk of body sensation or change that can indicate an underlying health issues.
Yes.
Kwa mfano, fatigue and low energy. You've woken up in the morning, you're just tired.
Na hujalima.
Your energies are just down. You don't even feel like waking up.
Ama kwenda kazini. Yes.
So hiyo inaonyeshana kuna some underlying issues that are making you feel that way.
Yes.
Then kuna hii sleep disturbance. Umelala, saa 6 imefika, saa 7. Asubuhi imeingia, and you're not even able to sleep. You don't have that sleep. So there are those sleep disturbances. And then change in appetite. Your appetite. Some people don't have appetite. Inaisha too. And then there are those who tend to eat a lot. And in the process, you find someone is gaining a lot of weight, which again will put you in at risk of getting other conditions.
Yes.
Unexplained aches and pains. You know, where are you not feeling well? Sometimes it's my back, my eyes. I don't know whether you've ever taken a grandmother to see a doctor.
Yes.
And the way they when they are told what is wrong,
to explain.
Yes, they will start with the legs, with the hands, with the back, with the everywhere.
Yes.
Until the doctor is like, it's like everywhere. Anaumwa na kila mahali. Yeah. So there are those unexplained pains and ache.
Yes.
And you find that people go to hospital and you are checked everything.
Yes.
Kila kitu, all investigations are done. But the doctor is like, I can't see anything. All the results are okay. So sometimes most of the doctors will refer you to go and see a counselor, because there is a way it connects, because between your thinking, your feeling, and that in a way affect your body. So those are the symptoms to look for.
Supposed to offer to this person. Now, how can we help that person?
One of the things, and maybe the other symptoms that I don't want to forget, is behavioral.
Yes.
Unakuta this person, the way they are doing things, it's very questionable.
Yes.
Maybe they talk of social withdrawal. hataki story mingi. They don't want interaction.
Hata anajifungia kwa nyumba,
Yes.
anashinda tu hapo.
Yes, socially they are withdrawn. They've cut off their friends. So they neglect responsibility. Someone used to do, even when you get into their house, you notice it's very untidy. So that tells you something. There's something wrong with this person. So there is also those behavioral
Yes.
symptoms. So to come back to your question on what can be done, of course, like I said earlier,
Yes.
the good news with depression is that it's treatable.
Before we reach that point, the causes of depression among the youths.
Among the youth,
Yes.
Well, we have biological causes. Biological causes, we talk of imbalances in the brain chemical. So like your brain is not functioning well
Yes.
at all. So that one will cause those chemical imbalances will cause you depression.
Yes.
And the other thing is like trauma. And with trauma, like if you went through an event
Yes.
that was bad, maybe something happened like 2 years ago, but even today you can still remember that what happened to you.
Yes.
And maybe when you remember that thing, you are in shock.
Unashtuka.
An example,
Yes.
2 years ago you were mugged in a certain street. So you notice even after those 2 years, you don't want to pass your
that
place.
street.
It still reminds you of what happened.
Yeah.
And when you talk about trauma, I want us to discuss briefly about childhood trauma.
Yes.
Because we seem to have young people or people who've gone through childhood trauma.
Yes.
And maybe you are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or even 10 years, but the same thing is still affecting you today.
Yes.
Let's take an example. One of the childhood trauma, like physical abuse.
Yes.
Wazazi wako, they were just beating you. You are being beaten by your parents and caregivers. And you know, sometimes you think beating a child is a normal thing. To
Tunamsaidia.
Tunamsaidia.
Unamwokolea. Like our time tulikuwa tunachapwa sana.
Yes.
I can remember actually siku hizi shule watu hawachapwi. Our times pale ulikuwa unachapwa, unaenda kuambia mzazi, ukidhani mzazi anakusaidia na kurejesha tena shuleni, unaongezewa zaidi. I don't know kama tulikuwa tunafikiria sana kuchapa mtu sana ndio labda anaweza akapita, ama ukikosa kuelewa hesabu baadaye ufanyiwe guiding and counseling, pita viboko 20 then.
Yes, it's true. Yes, and that was very traumatic. We might not have felt the effect now.
Yes.
But moving on today, you find this person who was traumatized that way. You find that their self-esteem iko chini.
Yes.
They don't have confidence because they are physically abused. The other one is emotional abuse.
Yes.
Where somebody, I've heard people saying that my teacher used to call me mjinga, you'll not end up in anything.
Yes.
So you see some of those things, those are emotionals. And sometimes people say emotional is even worse than physical.
Yes.
Because physical you might forget.
Yeah.
But emotional, it kind of get into your heart and stuck there. Inakuuma sana. So sometimes also sexual abuse. There are people who might have gone through sexual abuse when they were still very young. And even today, that trauma is still there. Negligence. Maybe you are taken, you are still young and then your mother could not take care of you. You're taken to live with your auntie. Or your mother left and went somewhere else. So that's negligence. And
Yes.
you've grown up feeling like I know so many people of my age who were brought up by their grandmother, grandfather, and their parents left them, they were going to look for a job. As a young person, as a child, you interpret that as negligence. And then witness domestic violence.
Yes.
You've grown up in a family where the father used to beat up the mother. I don't know whether the mother would beat up the...
Actually, I can remember during those times, even there is tribes in Kenya, mali ambapo mwanamke akikosa anachapwa.
Yes.
Yani wanachukulia like umekosa, enda tu kule viboko zako 2, watoto wakiangalia wanaona mom ni yeye anachapwa. Violence in the family ni kitu ambacho kilikuwa kinaonekana like ni mtindo tu. Yes.
But at the end of the day, we are saying it was traumatic to that child. That child who is 18, 35 years today is a youth. hata kama ili happen when the person was 5 years ago,
Yes.
still a trauma for them
Alafu
today.
watoto wa wasaa wingi.
Yes.
Sasa hapo ndio shida huwa inaingililia.
Yes, children never forget.
Mm.
They never forget. They carry it. It's like we say when a small child, a child is young, they are born with a blank slate, yeah?
Yes.
It's just plain white one. So it's us who keep writing on that plate to form this child. So whatever we write, could be violence or anything, we are writing it on the slate of that child.
Yes. On the same point, to remind you, when you are very, very young, mamako akikwambia hii story yako venye umefanya ongoja baba, actually tulikuwa tunaonanga baba like si mtu wa family. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa inatu affect sana. Kuna issues zenye mama angeweza kusolve, lakini baba alikuwa na solve. So ulikuwa unapata nimefanya ndio kosa, lakini baada ya mama anipunish, niambia nimeachia mzee. Actually tulikaa tukiogopa wazazi hadi wa leo. Even I was telling the students ambao wanajoin university, do you know that kuna mtu hajawahi kaa na babake venye tumeketi hivi ama wazazi wakapiga story, because wazazi walikuwa wanaona kama ni simba fulani. Hata ukiona baba anakuja hivi, better tu upite hii side nyingine uende to that side. Lakini siku hizi life imechange kidogo, naona watu wanakumbatiana as a family, but in our time it was like a movie.
It's very true, Tony. It's very, very true. And I think that relationship, many people grew up with, because this is not a long time ago. You're talking of maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
Where parents, when mzazi is coming, the dad is coming, is like an army officer coming. And the funny thing, it's not that anything that ilikuwa reported, it's a negative thing, not a positive.
Yes.
And you'll be, something happened a month ago, you'll be beaten for it. So these are all things that would cause a lot of trauma for this child. Then again, death. Maybe you've lost a family member or even your parents, and you are not able to move on with that trauma. And then community violence. Like now, if I asked you, how old were you in 2007?
Hapo nilikuwa na miaka 7.
You see?
Yes.
So imagine you are born in those areas of post-violence, and you went through all that torture, seeing people, houses burning, people dying. Maybe there are those who even experienced their parent being killed. That is trauma. So if that person is this age you are talking about, they still carry that trauma with them. And sometimes things like natural disaster, you know, kitu may happen, mvua, El Nino, people have died. These are things that can easily cause those childhood trauma. And the thing about this childhood trauma is that it goes unnoticed. Even when you tell somebody, that was long time ago, what are you talking about?
Achana nayo.
Ilipitwa na wakati. But this thing is still affecting this young person. So that's about those childhood trauma that can actually cause depression among young people. Then there are other factors like chronic stress. Nowadays people have a lot of stress. A lot of stress.
Kwanza university student and college ni students. Ni kubaya. Wacha niseme hivyo, ni kubaya. Manake wakati ambapo tulikuwa high school, the mentality ambayo tulikuwa tunapewa and the picture na walimu about university, then kila mtu alikuwa anatamani sana afike huko. Lakini now coming to the university na life sasa venye napeleka watu wengine ni hao wanajiangusha kwa magorofa, wanaanguka wengine, mapenzi na wasumbua, then unaona hiyo kitu inaanza kusumbua sana among the youths. Ni kitu ambacho kimekuwa challenge sana.
It's very true. And then you noticed when you are in high school, things were quite easy. Because your responsibility was just to sit and read. Someone else was taking care of your school fees and all that. Those, your uptake. But now when you go to college, you go to university.
Umekuwa wewe, unajitegemea.
It's you. And actually, I think also parents, when you get into university, they are like, now you are a grown-up. You are a grown-up.
Na vitu uweze ukaitisha actually.
You are a grown-up. And you say even, what usually happen, they will take you when you are getting to the campus. When will you see them again?
Ni kitambo.
Graduation, sindio?
Yes.
When you're graduating.
After 4 years.
Yes, after 4 years, that's when now they will they will come back to school again. Maybe you have to go home and all that, but it shows that that concerned parent had. Now they have this mentality, now you're a grown-up. But you're not a grown-up.
Yes.
Just until the age. A child brain grows until the age of 24.
24.
Yes.
So kuna mtu aliniambia hivyo lakini sijarada vizuri. Kuna mtu alisema ya kwamba akili ya mtu inatanga kufikiria akiwa na miaka 24. So now the question is, ikifika 25 bado huwa tunafikiria ama tushazeeka? Yani ni nini hiki ambacho kikianzia sasa from 25, now talking about 25 mentally, what happens? Actually I don't know. Yes.
It's even not about thinking, it's about growing. You know, the way you say now you have grown to the capacity you're supposed to be.
Actually I'm 24 years now.
Yes. So kama hujafika kabisa, your brain is still growing. That means there are some, you cannot make the very right decision.
Okay.
Yeah. You still need people to guide you until the age of now past 24. We can say now you are
yes,
your brain has grown fully.
Sasa unaweza kuniachilia nifanye venye nataka. And that is why many people are advised to marry after 25 years. Manake akili imekoma.
Yes.
Actually I was doing a certain test. I usually do royalty test. Na mtu akaniambia fanyanga watu kuanzia 24 years. And I was like, why? Na naona mtu ako 23 years na ako in love. Sinimfanyia ajue anachengwa ama achengwa. Akaniambia no, huyu mtu akili yake bado hajagrow. The same issue, kuna mtu ambaye alikuwa anasema ya kwamba if you are dating somebody below 25 years, achana na yeye, bado hajagrow. So he was tagging the university and the college students. So through your now the experience, what can you advise the youths in that age of 23 ambao bado wanaona we are in deep in love? Gen Zs.
They need to give themselves time.
Yes.
Yes, like to get to know each other. That is very, very important.
Yes.
I know that is a challenge in our the generation we are living in.
Yes.
But they need to get to know each other. Yes, it's very, very important.
The same situation. There is a person who is 26 years is dating someone who is 20 years. Sasa ukiangalia your distance, huyu wa 20 years bado akili haija grow na ikomae kabisa. So huyu wa 20 years anaweza kuwa napeleka huyu wa 27 years mbio zingine mbaya sana. Manake huyu wa 20 years akiona the way ni hii atampeleka this way, akiona hivi ndio inafaa, lakini I think ni akili yake bado haijafika pale. Do you need understanding in that period?
Yes, it's good to understand. And again, people are different.
Yes.
There is a person who is at 20 years, but however, they are mature, depending on their experiences. Because you might find someone who is 20 years, but maybe venye amekuwa, the way they've been brought up, the responsibilities that they have gone through.
Yes.
Maybe you are 20 years, but when you are 15 years or 13 years, your mom would leave you with the small siblings to take care of them.
Yes.
So your level of responsibility
ina catch up haraka.
Ina catch up haraka.
Yes.
You can learn haraka. Yes. So people are equally different.
Yes.
I know people who are married and they are 23.
Na wamekoma.
Yes. Yes.
Na wengine 29 hapo bado ni vita, bado hawajakoma.
Yes.
Yes.
So it happens, yeah. So then we have social factors that are bringing about depression. Like poverty. Remember this age, 18 to 35 years. These are people who either they are about to join institution, campus, or university. They are working, or they are already in school. Others have young families, your age group.
Yes.
So you find that there is unemployment, there is poverty, there is unemployment. There is what we are talking about, relationship problems.
Yes.
They don't know how to relate with each other. So all exposure to social isolation.
Yes.
All exposure to violence.
Yes.
So you may find that because of some of these things that you're talking about right now,
yes,
these causes of depression, these 18-35 years, they are more vulnerable because again they are in their prime age in terms of reproduction. because they are thinking of families, they are thinking,
Yes.
I need to be this. So there's a lot of pressure to make it
Yes.
in this age here, 18 to 35. Yes.
Wow, asanteni sana. Mnasoma kitu pale, na kama uko na swali lolote ambalo ungependa kuuliza, unaweza ukanitumia pale katika comment section pale, nitakuwa nikilipitia pale. It is a very very big conversation, a very wide conversation pale, ambapo tunaangalia sana sana masuala ambayo yanakumba vijana. Kabla tujachukua mapumziko mafupi, kuna wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunaambiwa kama hii stage hautaipitia hapa saizi itaenda kukusumbua katika uzee. Sana sana sisi kama vijana tunaambiwa adolescence stage ambayo labda unafaa kuvuka, lakini sasa unapata ya kwamba hii stage kama utaipitia we mwenyewe, unaambiwa itakuja kukusumbua ukizeeka. Kwa mfano, kuna wazee ambao labda wanakuanga na wasichana wadogo sana, tunaambiwa ya kwamba kuna stage hawakuvuka, manake wangevuka ile stage saizi hawangekuwa wanafanya ile. Do you believe in that mentally, ukisaidia vijana? Yes.
Well, I really I wouldn't say that I would agree with it, because there's something we call crisis, midlife crisis. So, because again, if you say it is true, it will warrant people to say, Mimi, I didn't go through this, so let me go back and do something about it, then I come back. But you see, there's something we call midlife crisis, where at particular age, there's something you ought to have accomplished. So usually what happens when you reach that age,
Yes.
now Jikuta, you've not accomplished what you are supposed to have accomplished.
Yes.
Sometimes you may tend to go back to start doing things again.
Yes.
So it's kind of trying to go back to make up for the time that was lost.
Yes.
But you don't have to go back. You can actually start from the point where you are at. Yes.
Kitambo nilikuwa naona mtu akitumwa labda kisiagi pale, kama ni mwanamke akaenda akapata wasichana wanaruka kamba kwa njia, na yeye akaanza kuruka, akaambiwa, unajua kule ushago atakutake like kuna akili yako ni ndogo, ni aje unaenda wewe ni mwanamke na una interacting na watoto wadogo. Lakini pia the same question, kuna kitu ambacho nataka labda ukaweze kujibu wala ambao wanaangalia. Ukiwa shule ulikuwa unaambiwa kama wewe ni mwerefu ukae na watu werefu, ndio ufanye nini, ndio upite mtihani. Kama ni hesabu unaambiwa watu wanapata enda uwajoin pale ili upite mtihani. Kuna kitu ambacho kilikuwa kinasumbua watu mentally, vijana sana sana. Mtu amepata E na anataka kuimprove, ameenda kukaa na mtu ako na A, lakini now the teachers wanakuja wanakuambia huyu ako na E, kuna venye anaweza kuteremsha ile A ikafanya nini, so you are not supposed to na wale wanafunzi. Hii kitu ilikuwa inatusumbua sana sisi kama wanafunzi tukiwa pale shuleni. How can you address this issue? Yes.
And I think it's very damaging.
Yes.
Because I know also in schools, I don't know whether it
Ama
does
mzazi
exist.
akikuja asikie mtoto wake anakaa na mtu anapata hii, analaumu mwalimu, mwalimu anakuja na watoanisha, na mimi niko pale labda nataka kulala. Hii ni affect mentally pia.
Yes, it does. And like I was saying, I don't know whether we still have that in schools, where there is one stream ya wale watu wanapata A's,
Yes.
kuna classes za wale wanapata C na D. It's quite damaging. I think it's lack of awareness, because you're trying to define someone by their performance,
Yes.
which is not right, because we are all gifted differently. Well, not everyone will get an A.
Yes.
Not everyone will get a B.
Yeah.
There's that person who will get a D, but they have different gift in them.
Yes.
Yes. So I think it kind of was okay. I think that what they meant to challenge the ones in D's to work hard to get to the A class, but at the end of it, I think it was very disturbing, and it actually, I know some people, it affected even their self-esteem.
Yes.
And I think if there are schools that are still doing that, that's something they need to change.
Yes.
And look at people with different abilities. Yes.
Wow, thank you very much. We are taking a short break. We'll be back. Usiende mbali.
Ready to learn German? TAS College is the perfect place to start. Grab a partial scholarship opportunity in German language beginner course today and unlock new opportunities to work abroad.
Guten Morgen. Good morning. Guten Tag. Good afternoon. Guten Abend. Good evening. These are some of the words that you will be learning in our school. So come and join the new beginner classes for German classes at our school.
Whether it is for travel, career, or personal growth, Task College has you covered. Whether you prefer online or physical classes, we have the ID learning option for you. With monthly intakes and experienced instructors, you will be speaking German in no time. We are located in Vika Town along Kenyatta Highway at Nema Plaza 2nd floor opposite Vika Bazaar building. Ready to begin? Call 0798-154-042 to enroll today. Task College, striving through talent.
Are you a campus student looking to gain real-world experience? Look no further. At Tante Africa Studios, we offer exciting attachment opportunities that will elevate your skills and boost your career. Join us in tackling real challenges and making an impact in the industry. Are you ready to step up? And don't worry, we promise to make it fun. After all, who said learning can't have a little laughter? We are located at Pika Nema Plaza 2nd floor. Apply now and take your first step towards your future. Visit our website or contact us today at TAS TV on all social media platforms. Tante Africa Studios. Your dream, our vision.
Katika kipindi tunakuletea wasanii.
What's up my guys? I go by the name Rainams.
Eti nikipita kwa macho unanipimia, na kama sina pesa unguwezi nipimia. Hapa Shenster the Poet manze.
Ngoma moto moto.
If you wanna show some love but don't fake it. Hey, nakumenya mawazo mako. Nani anedera shire. Oh, utani wako.
Vichekesho mkisongaza, mahojiano moto moto, stori za wasanii pamoja na talanta za wasanii.
Fiki wa kasi gani kama wapatikani wakati wa shida.
Na pia kwenye kipindi utabambika, utajijenga, utaelimika, utakuza talanta yako.
My name is Rebecca Mutie. I'm a model and I'm Afri Kenya. I'm a student. Napenda kusikiza kipindi cha Bonga na Katoni kila Jumatatu kuanzia saa 9 mpaka saa 10.
Kumbuka ni kwenye Bonga na Katoni ndani ya TAS TV kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 10 kila siku ya Jumatatu.
This is Bonga na Katoni in TAS TV. Karibuni.
Naam, karibu tena mpenzi mtazamaji, lakini kabla hatujaendelea ningependa kukufahamisha kwamba kama wewe ni mwanafunzi na unatafuta shule ambayo ungependa kusomea lugha ya Kijerumani pale, na kufahamisha kwamba TAS College wako na habari njema kuhusu pale. Kwa hivyo unaweza ukawasiliana na TAS College ili ukaweza kujiunga na wale wanafunzi ambao wanataka kusomea masuala ya Kijerumani. Kufikia TAS College unaweza ukawapigia simu kupitia nambari ya simu ambayo ni 0798154042 0798154042 pale ili ukaweza kusaidika sawa sawa. Haya, tukiendelea tu mbele. How can we manage the depression?
Well, with depression, like we've talked earlier,
yes,
the good news is that depression is treatable. It's possible to live without depression.
Yes.
And if you look at what people go through, sometimes people say that when I go through something,
yes,
time will heal. I don't know whether you've heard people say that. They say time will heal. But anything you've not resolved, time will complicate it. It will become complicated.
Yes.
If you go through a trauma, don't say that you will. It will heal. No. You have to look for help. because if you don't go through help, it's going to be complicated. So there are several ways of how we can approach depression.
Yes.
Number one is there are drugs. We call them antidepressant.
Yes.
But these are prescribed drugs that are prescribed by a psychiatric. And you're saying they are for managing, such that when you're on that treatment, you're also going through counseling, because the other way of managing depression is through counseling. So you're not meant to take antidepressant for the rest of your life, no. It's just for a time as you seek other services like counseling services to help you in this. The other important thing I always talk about is social support. You'll find that people who have social support are able to come out of depression very fast, as opposed to that person who doesn't, is taking care of it's him or her alone.
Yes.
So having that social support is very, very important.
Yes.
So I've talked of drugs, I've talked of counseling,
yes,
and I've also talked about having a support system. And of course, don't keep quiet.
Yes.
Talk about it. Yes, talk about it. Tell people this is what I'm going through. Because the other thing is that mental health, people look at it as a, I don't know, Kiswahili I can talk of wazimu. So there's that stigma concerning mental health.
Yes.
And people don't want to be seen like there's anything wrong with their mind. So they shy away from asking for help.
Yes.
Yes, don't shy away, talk about it.
Naam.
Yes.
Kuna yenye iwezi, kuna stages haiwezi katibiwa ikiingia sana.
Well, you know, sometimes with depression, it can bring up other mental disorders. Now, kwa mfano, you find that even drug and substance use, it's a mental health issue. And sometimes someone who is depressed can start taking drugs to manage that that condition of mental health. So with depression, we can't say there's that point where it will reach that there's nothing that can be done about it. No, always there's something that can be done about it, especially when it's just starting. But even if you have those you've lived with depression, because there are no people who have gone like have depression for the last 2 years, they can still recover from it. Yes.
The role of what role the government, parents and the school in addressing depression among the youths?
Yes, and you see, like now when we talk of the government, it has a big role. I know there is some I think it was in 90s where HIV/AIDS was declared a national disaster. So when something is declared a disaster, all the resources are channeled towards that.
Yes.
So I think it's a high time the government look at depression, not only depression but mental health in a big way. Remember, we are talking about 18 to 35 years old, and this is almost half of the Kenyan population. So you can imagine, if we have half of the Kenyan population who mentally they are not functioning well, what kind of a country are we going to have? So I think the government need to look into it, ensure that it's integrated well, mental health is integrated well, not only in health facility, but everywhere. Ukitaka mental health services, you can walk into a bank and they tell you there's a mental health counselor, talk to them. So it's integrated everywhere. That would help a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
What about the parents?
I think the parents, remember the example I was telling you, where especially this age, 18 to 35. Like when you're 35 years, maybe your parents are not even thinking about you. You are a grown-up. But you find that sometimes parents, you take your child to campus, then you'll go back to campus when they are graduating. And I've seen scenarios when you go for graduation, unapata mtu ako hata na mtoto.
Hujawahi jua. Siku hizo nakanga wawili.
They got married.
Wazazi hawajui. Kuna kale ka period kanaitwanga kuja to test life. Wanakuanga tu wawili. Na mzazi yana, ni aje mtoto wangu? Mimi naendelea tu poa. Niko poa. Kila time ni poa. Sama mkuu walikuwa katika ndoa kitambo.
It's true. So it's good to do follow-up. You see, in high school,
Yes.
there's always very close follow-up.
Kabisa.
There's we call them visiting days. There are parent meeting.
Yes.
When there's a problem in school, you are called immediately. I think even this person we are talking about, remember that 24 years.
Yes.
This person has not clocked that 24 years. So it means they still need the guidance of the parent.
Yes.
So I think parents need to do a lot of follow-up for their children. For the, I'm calling them children because they are still young. They're
Yes.
still dependable upon them.
Wasikuja after 4 years.
Yes, after 4 years. So I think they need to help.
Yes.
They need to know what is my child doing in school.
Yes.
Where do they live? Some parents, they don't even know where their
Na pia kuna hii method ni aje, unajua kuna wazazi ndio wataambia mtoto nitakuja. Naye mtoto unajua alikuwa anakaa na mtu mwingine. So inabidi nichukue mizigo yangu nipeleke kwa rafiki yangu ikae tu hapo siku mbili, mzazi akikuja nimwambie hapa ndio kwangu and then hiyo story ishe hivyo. Lakini pia wewe kuja tu wakati ajui ama mtafutie tu nyumba yeye. Maana yake akijitafutia atafanya kama yeye.
Yeah. You see, if you have a relationship with your daughter or your son, you will know where they live.
Yes.
And you can pop in anytime. Anytime you want, you
Unless
can
yakwambia
pop in.
alihama.
Yes. And hata akihama si atakuonyesha anaishi wapi. Yes. So I think you need to keep that close contact with your child.
Yes.
Because if you keep close contact, you will know. Huyu mtoto, there's something wrong. They are not functioning well.
Yes.
Even their school performance. You come for graduation, your child is not graduating.
Yes.
They've missed classes. They don't go to classes anymore. Maybe they only attended lectures for 2 years. The other 2 years walienda kufanya biashara huko.
Yako makazi zake.
Yeah. So you don't know, meaning you have no contact. But if you are able to keep that close contact, you know how your child is. Are they okay mentally? So that is also very, very close contact. Then I think also parents need to understand when we are talking about these mental health issues, what is it all about? Juu wazazi wengine hawajui.
Yes.
So they also need to be sensitized about that. It's very important for them to understand what is mental health.
Yes.
Yes. And also create an environment where your child can come and talk to you. Some of us did not have that environment that you could tell your parents anything.
Yes.
Hapana. But create that conducive environment where you are open.
Yes.
To discussion of these young people.
Finally, now the school as we finish.
No, as the school, I think there is a lot because the backlog of everything here goes with the school because that is where you find a lot of these young people. And I think with schools, they need to do several things. I'll mention them very fast.
Yes.
And one of the things is that schools need to sensitize the young people about mental health issues.
Yes.
In terms of promoting, you promote mental health awareness. You talk about the stigma surrounding it.
Yes.
You have a way of identifying cases. Remember I told you there is a way you can identify someone who is depressed.
Yes.
And then provide access to mental health resources on site.
Yes.
Siku hizi watu wako online sana. So at institution level, you can have those online things going on, even 24 hours, just talking about mental health. Then teaching coping and resilience skills is very important because remember these young people, they have pressure ya kusoma. There are so many pressures coming with them. So teaching them coping and resilience things. Address academic pressure because it's a big pressure.
Yes.
You have a project, you're supposed to do a write-up, all those things.
Yes.
Then you foster social connection where you look at what other activities can young people, especially in school, engage in. And then also train staffs. So don't assume the staff, the teacher, wanajua kila kitu. It's important to train them. How do I know that someone is depressed? What is there?
Yes.
What can be done? It's important. Then as a school, you need to have a very clear protocol on how to handle crises, especially mental health cases. Things like suicide, you need to have a very clear protocol, and again identify who are the stakeholders
Yes.
that can come in and help you, support you.
Yes.
Last week we went for a forum. It's in Kist, Embu.
Yes.
And they had this health week where we have all the stakeholders who have come in. We have the hospitals,
Yes.
the mental health people. So that's a week that people would go, the young people would go, be checked of their HIV status. So those are the very important forums. Identify who is there.
Yes.
So, and with that also, let school institution embrace counseling.
Yes.
Yes.
Asanteni sana. Wow, natumai ya kwamba kila mtu ameweza kusoma, na kama ulikuwa na kitu ambacho kilikuwa kinakukwaza, natumai ya kwamba wewe mwenyewe ushapata jibu. Tuko hapa kwa ajili ya kusaidia na pia kusaidia wale wote ambao wanapenda sana kutusikiza pale. Kumbuka mafunzo kama haya ukujia kila siku ya Jumatatu kuanzia mida ya saa 7 hadi mida ya saa 8. Wakati wangu ushaisha jamani, lakini kama uko na swali ambalo ungependa kumuuliza, ningependa labda ukaweze kueleza ni vipi wanaweza kukupata wewe mwenyewe, kwa sababu labda kuna mtu ambaye angependa kuuliza hapa, lakini angependa sana wewe kukupata ukiwa peke yako ama katika simu, ili akaweze kukuuliza wewe mwenyewe.
Well, unaweza nipata on Facebook page.
Yes.
I have 2 pages. One I call myself Joy Owino, and the other one is Joy Wangai. So you can inbox me and we can chat aside.
Yes. Asanteni sana. Sijui kama uko na la mwisho ungependa kuwafahamisha kabla tujamalizia.
So la mwisho ni kusema depression is treatable.
Yes.
Seek for help.
Asante. Tupatane tena wakati mwingine. Kwaheri.
Are you a campus student looking to gain real-world experience? Look no further. At Tante Africa Studios, we offer exciting attachment opportunities that will elevate your skills and boost your career. Join us in tackling real challenges and making an impact in the industry. Are you ready to step up? And don't worry, we promise to make it fun. After all, who said learning can't have a little laughter? We are located at Thika Nema Plaza 2nd floor. Apply now and take your first step towards your future. Visit our website or contact us today at TAS TV on all social media platforms. Tante Africa Studios. Your dream, our vision.
Ready to learn German? TAS College is the perfect place to start. Grab a partial scholarship opportunity in German language beginner course today and unlock new opportunities to work abroad.
Guten Morgen. Good morning. Guten Tag. Good afternoon. Guten Abend. Good evening. These are some of the words that you will be learning in our school. So come and join the new beginner classes for German classes at our school.
Whether it is for travel, career, or personal growth, TAS College has you covered. Whether you prefer online or physical classes, we have the ID learning option for you. With monthly intakes and experienced instructors, you will be speaking German in no time. We are located in Vika Town along Kenyatta Highway at Nema Plaza 2nd floor opposite the Vika Bazaar building. Ready to begin? Call 0798 154 042 to enroll today. TAS College, striving through talent.